Wearable technology. Companies are investing on devices that allow for seamless integration with the event. So some events are really making use of all of these technologies, wherein a watch can have sensor integration systems, and it can acknowledge the presence of visitors in their exhibit booth. All right. So, and this is although this is not really that much widespread in the Philippines, but it has a very big potential in really providing a unique experience to the delegates. Next, we have the augmented and virtual reality. So, if you have played Pokemon Go, or if you have uh, virtual reality gadgets at home, uh, you may already have an idea on how this works, because it is a combination of real and computer generated image, wherein it's like you are in a certain world that is like alive. It comes alive. All right. So it's like you are in a different world, but you are really there having the experience. So using of technologies to deliver interactive and immersive views can have a lasting impact to the guest or to the attendees. So um, we have to accept the fact that delegates and visitors are always expecting something new in any kind of experience, and the events industry is not spared from that. In fact, there are some events or product launches or marketing events that already uses the virtual reality technology. And robots can help in the registration of the delegates upon arrival, and they can also act as booth attendants, bartenders, and also provides entertainment. So some robots roam around the venue, and then they can provide information about the different places within the destination. And some drones are also considered computers or robots. They can be used to capture aerial photography and videography. 3D printing. So this is also a new technology wherein a printer, right? A printer creates different souvenirs and decor. Or I just saw a video recently wherein there's this big 3D printer. It's considered the biggest 3D printer, and it was able to create a speedboat from scratch. All right, so they make use of technology, and they are able to create any kind of things. Excuse me. And even face shields are being used, okay, or are being created using a 3D printer. Next is big data. Excuse me. All right, so information and data is very important because it gives you an idea on what to expect and how your attendees or visitors behave. All right, and it's not just enough to gather these data, but also you have to analyze them, because an analysis of these data will provide you opportunities and, of course, feedback on how you can improve your event. Organizers use data mining. So they mine data, they gather data to get information about the habits, the preferences, and the different behavior patterns of the delegates. Let's say, for example, what are their preferred food, what are the preferred leisure activities, let's say after attending event, uh, where would they like to go? Would they be visiting a spa? Would they be going to the cinema? Would they be going to a bar to have some drinks? So these are all information that can help future event organizers. So data can provide valuable inputs for organizers in planning future events and also forecasting revenues. And then we go to the different environmental forces influencing the MICE industry. So climate change, of course. So this is really one of the talk of the town, right? Not just the town, but talk of the entire world. So erratic weather, abrupt changes in temperature, natural disasters are challenging the ways events are designed and executed because of course these are forces of nature, and when you have events, these forces of nature is capable of canceling all planned activities in a certain event. So let's say imagine a typhoon, okay? Uh, a typhoon canceling all the events that are being planned already. So we cannot prevent that from happening, but we can plan to really prevent an event to be a disaster. So you have to have a backup plan and a risk management strategy so that you can still hold the event without sacrificing your credibility. Because let's say you have a big event planned and then suddenly it rained, or suddenly there is a typhoon, and of course visitors cannot go to the venue, and then it's gonna be a disaster. Sometimes even the host, or even uh, the organizer cannot really go to the event because of the different unexpected natural phenomenon. So you have to really take this into consideration. Next is the green and sustainable best practices. So you have to always inject sustainability in how events can be handled. All right. So when you talk about sustainability, it means meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. All right. So you can have benchmarking, and you can uh, design activities and processes to minimize the effects of climate change and create standards for the events industry. So let's say uh, paperless registration, online registration is one of the best practices for sustainability. And also you can make use of a shuttle service so that when the delegates arrived in the airport, they will just be using a few shuttle buses and not several cars. Okay, so it will uh, save energy cost, of course, and you can have the event in a hotel so that there will be no need for delegates to travel. They will just go downstairs to the event venue, and also you can make use of reusable uh, eating wares during the event. Let's say your stainless knife and fork, your glasses. So this can all be washed in the kitchen, and they will not further contribute to the waste that is created. Okay, so some of the examples of the initiatives or best practices are the following. So you can, again, I mentioned earlier, you can make use of shuttle services going to and from the airport and the meeting venue. And then when it comes to um, uh, restroom matters. So you can replace a 3.5 gallon per flush toilets to 1.6 gallon per flush toilets. So you can cancel your disposable and make use of your reusables. And then, and because of these initiatives, your event can have a competitive advantage from all other events. And there is this practice also wherein some event organizers resell the used event materials to reduce waste and the need for storage. So these are some of the initiatives that you can do in the events industry. And then we go to the economic and political forces influencing the MICE industry. First and foremost, of course, stability is one of the main criteria for hosting events because countries that are perceived as safe will always have the advantage because organizers will always choose destinations that are safe. All right, so security is very, very important. So the threats of terrorist acts and infectious diseases that we are having, such as now, can make or break an event and also the reputation of a destination. So you have to be capable of responding to these issues so that even though it may happen, you will not really lose that credibility of yours. So you have to make sure that all your delegates, the visitors, are really safe and secure during the duration of your event. Next is corruption. So it can cause concern for organizers and sponsors and all other event partners because it causes unnecessary delays and increased expenses due to the corrupt practices. Third is governance. Of course, there must be a rule of law and laws must always be implemented because the conflicting guidelines and personal interest of the different government officials can sometimes derail investments in the event industry. So let us always remember that as part of the tourism stakeholders, we have the opportunity to fashion the future. That means we can dictate what we need rather than to simply regard the future or to wait what the future will look like. Okay, um, we can become future makers rather than future takers, and that is according to Edwards Dwyer. Alright, for your activity, you have to research on the different gadgets and technologies that can be used in event management. Or should I say, research on the different gadgets and technologies that you can use in your virtual event. So you have to discuss among your group mates how you can utilize these in your proposed virtual event. So what gadgets or technologies you can use in planning or in conducting your virtual event, and you have to make a written report regarding the details that you have discussed. So I will be giving you the official format for this report. So I'll be posting the details soon. And that would be the end of this learning session. And I hope to see you in the next learning discussion. So have a good day and always stay safe.